This happened back in October of 2022. I was living alone in a small house tucked inside a quiet, family-style neighborhood. I'd been there since 2015, so I'd seen how things slowly changed over the years, especially around Halloween. After 2020, it was like everyone just stopped caring about it. No decorations, no kids in costumes, no excitement. Every year, the streets got quieter and darker. What used to be a fun night filled with laughter and kids running door to door turned into something empty. So that Halloween, I didn't expect anything different. That morning, I made myself some coffee and stepped outside onto the porch. The air was chilly but nice, and the trees around the street had turned that deep orange and red, the kind that really makes you feel the season. But as soon as I opened my front door, I noticed something odd. There were two people standing in my yard, maybe 30 feet away, near the trees. At first, I thought they were kids because they were wearing Halloween masks. But after a second look, I wasn't so sure. They were tall and really skinny, almost like teenagers, maybe even adults. The second they noticed me, they froze. Then both of them turned and quickly walked deeper into the trees. It was weird, like they got caught doing something they shouldn't. The way they moved, fast and nervous, didn't sit right with me. Even though it was Halloween, I had never seen anyone wearing masks that early in the morning, just standing there. I told myself it was probably nothing, maybe just some high schoolers messing around. I sat down, sipped my coffee, and tried to enjoy the quiet. The rest of the day passed by normally. Around 4 p.m., I figured I might as well grab a small bag of candy, just in case a few kids actually came by that night. Even though no one had shown up in years, it still felt wrong not to be prepared. It was a little piece of tradition I wasn't ready to let go of. As evening came, I sat on the couch and turned on the TV. Some channel was running Halloween movies, so I left that on. I also kept my curtains slightly open to see outside, hoping to spot at least one group of trick-or-treaters. But the hours passed, and nothing happened. Just a few cars drove down the street, and that was it. By the time the sun disappeared, the whole neighborhood looked dead. The streetlights flickered on, but there was no movement, no kids, no noise, just complete stillness. It felt eerie. Even though I'd gotten used to quiet Halloweens, that silence always carried a strange kind of tension. Around 8 p.m., I suddenly heard a knock on my front door. It startled me because I hadn't seen anyone walk up. It also felt a little late for kids to still be out. But thinking maybe I finally got a trick-or-treater, I grabbed the bowl of candy and went to answer it. When I opened the door, that familiar chill ran through me. Standing there were the same two figures I saw earlier that morning. Both of them were in masks and dark clothes, making it hard to tell anything about them. Up close, they looked even taller than I thought, too tall for kids. And what really stood out, they didn't have any candy bags. They just stood there, in silence, staring through those masks. I couldn't even see their eyes. Trying to stay calm, I forced a small smile and held the candy bowl out. "You guys want some?" I asked. But they didn't say a word, they just stood there. After a few seconds, I slowly pulled the door back and closed it. It was awkward and unnerving, and I felt my heart racing. Even then, I convinced myself it was some sort of prank. Maybe they were just messing around, trying to creep people out for fun. After a minute or so, I peeked through the window, and they were gone. That somehow made me feel better, like it really was nothing serious. I went back to the couch turned the TV volume up, and tried to ignore the uneasiness sitting in my chest. Hours passed. I must have stayed up until around 1 or 2 a.m., watching random shows before finally deciding to head to bed. I turned off the TV, locked the doors, and went upstairs. By then, I had completely forgotten about those two masked figures. I was exhausted and ready to sleep. But just as I started drifting off, a loud knock echoed through the house. It jolted me upright in bed. For a moment, I wasn't even sure I heard it right. Then another knock followed, this time heavier, right at the front door. The sound echoed down the hallway. My heart started pounding. I quietly opened my bedroom door and listened. The house was dead silent except for that steady knocking downstairs. I took a few cautious steps toward the stairs, trying to see who it was. Every instinct in me screamed that it had to be those same two people. But this time, it didn't feel like a prank. It felt wrong. When I finally got close enough to peek through the side window, I saw one of them standing there, just one, masked, still, and knocking again and again. The way he stood so close to the door made my skin crawl. But what scared me even more was realizing I couldn't see the other one anywhere. My chest tightened as I slowly backed away from the door, trying to think of what to do. That's when I heard something, a soft creak behind me. It came from the hallway. I turned fast, and when I saw him, a shadowy figure, at the far end of the hall. The moment our eyes met, he started sprinting straight toward me, and in the dim light, I saw the glint of a knife in his hand. My body reacted before my brain did. I bolted up the stairs, slammed my bedroom door shut, and locked it. Then I shoved my dresser and nightstand in front of it, while my hands shook uncontrollably. I grabbed my phone and called the police, whispering as quietly as I could while my heart pounded in my ears. Outside the door, I could hear faint voices, the two of them talking to each other. Their words were muffled, like they were arguing. I couldn't tell what they were saying, but it sounded like they couldn't decide what to do next. After maybe 30 seconds, I heard their footsteps moving away. The floor creaked downstairs, then silence. When the police arrived, they checked the house from top to bottom but didn't find much, just a back window left halfway open. It was clear one of them had come in from the back, while the other distracted me at the door. We all agreed it was planned, one to knock, one to sneak in. What scared me most was realizing how close I came to being attacked that night. Why they picked my house, I'll probably never know. Maybe it was random, or maybe they'd been watching me. The officers said it could been a couple of teenagers or young adults trying to pull off something sick for Halloween, a night where people wouldn't question someone wearing a mask. I still think about it every year when fall rolls around. The sound of knocking late at night instantly takes me back to that cold October evening, and sometimes I catch myself looking out the window, half expecting to see two masked figures standing there again, quiet, still, and waiting.